Hello everyone, I am Gangadhar, a BIM manager. This is the next tutorial on YouTube. Please support my channel. Thanks for watching. In this video, we are going to learn about sheets, display model, detail levels. So, I am going to create that sheet here. I am going to create a new sheet. Although we have a separate topic for this one, but let me just create a new sheet here. I am going to quickly right click on the sheets here and then I select new sheet and then I just go ahead and select load here. I'm going to open T block BIM Revit title block. I'm going to create a new placeholder sheet, then select OK. This is which I selected and it's going to create a new placeholder. So here is my title block which I open A0 sheet. What I'm going to do is in this view sheet got created with a default name. Don't worry about the name. We can always change the name of the title. That is the default name which it got opened. Let's say I want to insert here the north level 2 HVAC plan. I am going to simply drag and drop that view here. After that, since this is a little bigger than the title block, what I am going to do is I am going to select that and then I will change the scale here. So about 1:100. That's now my scale is 1:100 and I'm going to put it here. How about I make it 1:75? So okay, so 1:75. Let me customize 1:75. I need it is to 1:75. For example, this is how my view looks. I need 1:75. So that is why it is a bit bigger than the earlier one. If I am going to drag and drop the south view here, so just like this one, that is my HVAC south plan. I do not want to include this south. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this, the south, and then I will just create a new sheet again here. Right click, new sheet, T block BIM Revit again, and then I will drag in and drop the south level to HVAC plan, and then I will change the scale of this. Instead of 1:75 because it is too big, I will just make it about 1:100. The other view it will not change with this scale. So the other scale will be as it is what we have selected earlier with 1:75. See, this is 1:100 which I have adjusted on the second sheet which we created for the south. So as you see on the screen, so we can just drag the title lines and then you can do the adjustments as you needed to fix in the sheet. Another way to manage your view by using a match line. That's one thing that you can do. If you have a duplicate as a dependent view, from that view you can create a match line. So let me open the north to show the match line. Now I am going to add a match line. To put a match line here, you just need to go to the view tab and select match line. So you can click that one and then you can create the match line here. Like for example, from here to the other corner. So just like that, that's your match line. And then I select check finish. There you go. Now you have your match line there. And if I go to the south here, I can also create another match line here. Create the match line from here and then I select here check this, and then from here you can now put a text or annotation. Let's say you can put the to north, and here you can also put to south. And another thing is you can also modify your match line. So let's say you want to make this a little big or thicker, and let's say you want to make it dash line. Take a note of this command VV, that is visibility graphic overrides. You can just type VV, or from the properties you just need to look for visibility graphic overrides. You just need to click edit, and then you will now see the visibility graphic overrides. Any changes that you made here on the visibility graphic overrides, it will only affect your current view. I am going to modify the match line. I go to the annotation category because match line is an annotation category. Now I am going to overwrite it, and then I will change the pattern. I am going to make it dash line, and then I am going to go ahead and change the color. I am going to go ahead and change the color. I make it red, and then I am going to change the line weight. Let's say make it 6. Okay. Now have match line there modified. Same with the south here. You see it's also updated because they are both dependent to each other. When it comes to the view properties, if I go to my floor plan or to the sheet here, so that you can see there is the match line, and then there is also the match line in both sheets. This is to indicate where you cut the view. You can put a text here, that you can also put a text there, like for example to north I will add. So to add a text, you just create text, and then you just write it as to, as you see on the screen, I have this text is smaller, so I changed to 1:4, and I just mention to north, and then the other sheet I am going to mention to south. So this is how you can add the match line text to show the views to match each other. So this is your south and this is to your north. So this is how we create match line with their text. I'm going to close the other views here that I have opened. The other active views, I am just going to select that. I only have now one view here. Just to recap, we have discussed about duplicating the view, duplicate the view, and then we also have duplicate with detailing, and we also have the dependent view. The dependent view is north and south, as you see on the screen. North is the parent view and the south is the dependent view. Now I will just select here tile view. So after opening all the views, I'll just tile the views. To do that, I just go to the view and I select tile. I'll just type ZA to zoom all. See, you can see the match line in all the open views. If you don't want to see in the duplicate or duplicate with the details view, again you can always go to the visibility graphics, make sure the window is activated, and you can just go to visibility graphics annotation category and then look for match line here. Match line, just uncheck that. This will turn off the visibility of the match line. It is now turned off. Just click OK. It will only affect this view. Same with the other one. I will click this, go to active, this view, I go to visibility graphics, overrides, I go annotation, and then look for the match line, uncheck the match line, and then so as you see on the screen, I just uncheck and then I click OK. We have here the duplicate, and when you say duplicate, it will only duplicate the model elements. When you say duplicate with the detailing, it will duplicate the model elements together with the annotation or the details, the detailing, the annotation, and the tags. Now, the other one we have here, the duplicate as a dependent. This is our parent view, the north, and then this is our dependent. Dependent is south. What happens if any changes that you made here, when it comes to view properties, it will affect also the parent view and vice versa, but it will not affect the duplicate with detailing view and duplicate view. Other ways to modify the property of your view here is, you just need to go to view properties. You have here, like for example, the view scale. If you want to change the scale of this, you also have that here on your view control bar. You still remember that user interface. This is your view control bar. You also can change the scale. When you say view scale, here it changes the scale of your view as it appears on the drawing sheet. As you can see, there is the scale value here. You can define a custom scale value. Scale value enabled when custom is selected for view scale. Like for example, if I select here a custom, you will notice it will become enabled, because you can now customize your scale here. But if you are going to select here, let's say 1:50, and then just apply, and then you just click again here, you will notice that this one will become disabled. It always follow that except if that is a custom. You also have here display models, hides the building model in detail view. It comprises three settings: the normal setting display. See, this one is south. You have here different display settings. So you have the normal setting, it displays all the elements normally and is independent for all non-detail views. The other one is do not display. The do not display settings hides the model and displays only detailed view specific elements such as lines, regions, dimensions, text and symbols. When you say view specific elements, that means that particular elements you can only see that in the view where you have drawn in. That's why it's called view specific elements. There are the elements that you can only see in the view where you have drawn it. Now the other option is here half tone or before its underlay. So the underlay settings are half tone displays all detailed the specific elements normally, and the model elements appears half tone or dim. If you are going to select what happened, but usually I will just use here normal. And also we have here details, detail level. Aside from the properties, you can also find it here on the view control bar. Detail level, there is your detail level. What does this do? detail level it applies a coarse. You have different settings here. It applies coarse, medium or fine detail level settings. To the view scale, this setting overrides the automatic detail level settings for the view. Just take a note that if you are going to change your view, like for example here in this view, if I change the detail level here to medium, let me just do pan my drawing. So this is now my view here. One, let me turn on the thin lines, because as you can see the thin line weight here are too thick. I cannot see the fine detail on my pipe here. So I am just going to turn on the thin line. What happens? It is displays all lines on screen as a single width regardless of zoom level. If I am going to click this one south, let me just zoom in here. If I am going to turn on the thin lines, this is what will happen. See, it's now finer. It's just a single line width. And now I am going to change my detail level to medium. What will happen is, after selecting the detail to medium, you notice that my pipe here will becomes line. It becomes line as a representation of your pipe. That is what will happen if you change your detail level to medium. It will affect your pipe, not only your pipe but also your conduit. It will what will happen, it becomes a single line. Here you see my pipe here. If I change this to coarse, again as you see on the screen, the detail level, not only the pipe becomes affected, it will also affect your duct here. Make it that medium, the duct is not affected but the pipe is affected. If I change that to fine, change this a fine view, here it will show two lines. Here for the pipe, two lines. For the duct, that is for your detail level. Another option that you can find here on the properties is the visibility graphic overrides. This is this one. It controls the visibility of objects by category in the views. You can specify visibility settings by using this visibility graphic overrides. In this is a very powerful tool feature of Revit. Take a note of that. Any changes that you made here on the visibility graphic overrides, it has something to do with the settings of your view. It will only affect your current view but not your duplicate as the dependent view. That is your visibility graphic overrides. What are the other parameters that you most of the time you use here? So we also have here discipline on the properties. If you look in, say this is your discipline, now it is mechanical, and the subdiscipline, if you look in, so this subdiscipline is HVAC design. As you can see on the screen, the discipline is mechanical, the subdiscipline is HVAC design. So this is what it affects for the present view. Now let us change the discipline to electrical and the subdiscipline to power design. Let me try to change. Select discipline electrical and the subdiscipline is power design and click outside. Let's see what will happen. Notice that is now under here. The view is now under power design because that's the discipline that you have selected for that. See this one, the discipline now there is electrical, that's why it is now under electrical. The subdiscipline here is power design. So let me put it back to mechanical again. Now I have changed I'm changing the discipline to mechanical, and I'm going to select the subdiscipline to HVAC design. See, this is what it happens after clicking outside. So that it went back to the original HVAC design. The other parameters that you can see here on the properties, we are going to discuss that as we move on. So hopefully you learned something from this video. This is our today's topic about shades, view scale, display model, detail level, visibility graphic overrides, and discipline, subdiscipline. If you have any questions, comments or suggestions, you can put it on the comment section below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. This is for today's tutorial. So hopefully you have learned something from this video. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe.